Welcome to another Enthusiastic Steve video. This time I'll be looking at 5 mobile CB antennas, comparing them and finding out which one is the best. The first antenna I want to talk about is the basic one, the compact one, I call it. This is just kind of the standard antenna that you could fit to your car or your van, drive around town with, not worry about it. It's not overly long, it does the job, it does perform, and this is the President 145. It comes under lots of other names as well. The 145 style of antenna is a very common one and very popular. It's got a standard screw-on base, as you can see there, and it's got a base-loaded coil, small spring attachment, and the whip assembly goes into the top. Small amount of adjustment is possible for SWR. Not the greatest, as in wide coverage, but it will cover, once tuned, it will cover the 40 channels on that particular band with ease. I don't necessarily it's going to cover the mids and the UK FM at once. You may get a little bit of raised SWR at the extremes if you tend to do that, but either the mids 40 channels or the UK FM 40 channels, whatever you've got it tuned to, it will work perfectly. Many of you will recognise this straight away, the K40. It's gone down in history, that name, the K40. It was a K40 antenna back in the 70s and the 80s, and there was a K40 power mic, an amplified microphone, the one that got you out across the airways. It was something at the time. It was well made, but it was expensive. You were paying for the name. But the K40 is still in existence. Now, again, this is a base coil loaded antenna. It's not that long. It's about 4 foot or so in length. So not the longest of antennas, and it's probably like the next stage up from the 145 antenna we looked at before. K40s also go by other names, similar type of branded names like the Wilson, which are out there. But the difference in the K40 is it uses a bit of an unusual base. It's got its own design of quick release base there. It's not a screw-on, so if you do buy one of these, you do need to have the appropriate base to actually connect it onto, either a boot mount, lip mount, or a mag mount with that fitting. It's designed so you can actually just twist it and take it off very quickly. But then again, you can unscrew the other antennas just as easily. But there you go, the K40. It's still a good antenna. And here's a close-up of the actual K40 mount. This is the actual mag mount version. All the mounts on the top are similar, be it a boot lip or a mag mount. Now we're going to start looking at some of the, as I call them, the bigger guns. These antennas are not really designed to be mounted whilst driving around, though here you go. I have seen many vehicles with these on, but these antennas are something in the region of 6.5 feet long. Very long stainless steel whip. They're much larger than the K40 or the 145. So yes, as long as you've got a very strong lip mount or boot mount or whatever you want to call it, mag mount, a very strong one, then yeah, it's possible to drive around with these, but not recommended. These are a park on the hillside, park at the seafront, put them on and have a good TX session. Now this is a Stereo. It's one of the megawatt series. Now in the megawatt series they do the 3000s, the 4000s, the silvers. This is a slightly older one, the silver. It's a silver megawatt 4000. Even the today's versions are almost identical. Again, it's base loaded coil with a section here for adjustment, but you do remember that you do need the little tool. There's a little 2-pin tool to undo these, so make sure when you buy one you get one with it. The whip section again is it's got adjustment in it as well, but these things will tune up across about 80 or more channels, 120 channels in some instances. So if you get your SWR right on where you want it, you'll get a good coverage either side. Again, it's a standard fit connection on the end there. Slightly out of focus on that one, but it is a big antenna. Now this is sold as a 7/8 wave antenna. The K40 and the 145 President are both quarter wave antennas, base loaded coils, so they're not full length quarter waves, but with the coil loading they electrically think they are. Now this is electrically a 7/8 wave antenna, which is a little bit odd because 5/8 waves work, and anything above 5/8 wave normally you get a bit of a strange RF load pattern, but this is sold as advertised as a 7/8. I personally think it's a 5/8, but the advertising says 7/8, so we're going to stick with that. And there you can probably hopefully see from the results that a 7/8 or / 5/8 over a quarter wave is a better performer. But we'll take a look at another one, its competitor. And here we are, another big gun, the President Texas 1800. Again, a big antenna, 6 foot 6 long, roughly, about the same size as the Stereo Megawatt series. Very strong, very heavy loaded coil at the base. It's made of brass. It has got substantial weight and strength to it. This one's got the nice chrome finish on it. It's got adjustments here, and the SWR adjustments can be here. Not a lot, but you can adjust it, no problem whatsoever. In the base, it's again, you see the big lump of brass there. It's the standard screw-on fitting. It's got quite a bit of weight to it. So yeah, it's a good strong performer. Again, advertised as a 7/8 wave. So be interesting to see how it compares with the Megawatt. But this one has been my go-to mobile antenna. Hilltop to hilltop, I've achieved over 120 miles on FM and on sideband with this. So it does perform. Now for this one, I'm going to have to hold this one because of the actual length of it. This is the Big Daddy. This is the Tank Whip, as they're called, and it is just a stainless steel whip. And it's a proper full-size quarter wave, over 8 feet long. A nice 3/8 screw attachment on the bottom. And I shall pull this through, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. The centre section there, but that's just a joining section with a little bit of SWR movement on it. Just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and eventually you will come to the end. But this thing is over 8 feet long. It's got a thinner top section to the base, but you can buy these you see the bottom section is very substantial indeed. You can buy these as the same thickness all the way up. They are big, but it's a proper full quarter wave antenna, not electrically loaded. It's a proper quarter wave antenna, and there are benefits to be had when it's not coil or base loaded. So that's a quick look at the 5 antennas, the 145 Stereo, the K40, the Stereo Megawatt 4000, and the Texas 1800 and the Tank Whip. Now, they all have their place. It all depends on what size car, van or mount you've got really, and the day, or what you're trying to achieve. But we're going to do a quick RF test with these antennas. I'm going to go about 3 or 4 miles away in the car, mount these 5 antennas individually, and give them a quick transmit. My home base antenna is going to then pick them up, and we're going to see if there's any difference at all in the received signal strength. See which ones perform better. It's a bit of a non-scientific test, but it will demonstrate to you, hopefully, the difference between a shorter antenna and some of the longer antennas and a full-size quarter wave. Is there any difference? Well, we can have a look. And here we go, parked up at the top of Portsdown Hill, appropriately by a big gun to test some big gun antennas. And this is the radio we're going to be using to transmit the signal. It's the CRT or Superstar 9900. We're going to go to a vacant channel on FM, turn the power down, and test the antennas out. So let's see what results we get.
Okay, Enthusiastic Steve is now out mobile, parked up on a local Portsdown Hill, approximately about 3 miles away from the base antenna. First antenna on test is the President 145. The radio has had the power turned down, and the receive radio is the RF gain is turned back as well. So let's see how this antenna performs. So this is the President 145. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll now swap over antennas and we'll do a direct comparison between them. Okay, we've now swapped antennas. We're now on the K40 on its own mag mount with the stainless steel whip, and situated again in exactly the same spot as the other antenna on top of the roof of the car. So let's give this a go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the K40 antenna. Right, here we go. This is the full-size quarter wave whip, the tank whip. Approximately about 102 inches long, I believe this is. I believe that's about right. It's a biggie. It's a whippy old thing, as the name suggests, as more traffic goes past. Yeah, this is the tank whip, full-size quarter wave, no coils, no base loading. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, now got the Texas 1800. This is actually one of my favourite antennas, but let's see how it performs. I've never really compared them with the other ones. So this is a Texas 1800 on the same mount in the centre of the car roof. The traffic flows past. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Texas 1800. And the final antenna on test is the Stereo Silver Megawatt antenna. Again, this is the biggest, tallest antenna out of the three. So it'd be interesting to see if it's performing any better at all. So this is exactly the same condition, the same mag mount in the centre of the roof of the car. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully that's given a good comparison on the old meter scale. And I'll drive back now and let's see the results.
So there you see it. The 5 mobile antennas tested atop my car on top of Portsdown Hill. Approximately 3 miles as the crow flies from the transmitter to the receiver here at my home base. The receiving station was a Gainmaster antenna, which is actually in a tree hidden away. The receiving radio is a Superstar 3900. The RF gain was turned back, so we don't end up with an end-stop signal, being that relatively close between the two stations. And the transmitting station was a Superstar 9900. Set the power was turned back as well on that. FM was the modulation today. Unfortunately, there wasn't very much, or there's no skip about, otherwise I'd have done a test with the sideband as well to see how well they worked. The 5 antennas, comparable, base loaded coils, and then we had the whip as well, the quarter wave whip. We had the 145 antenna, which is a shorter antenna, one you could drive around with on the car. The K40 you could possibly drive around with, it's a little bit longer. Very well made. That was a surprising antenna to me today. That performed very well, and it was when you look at the construction of it and things, it's very good. All the other antennas were much longer than the K40 antenna. And my favourite, as I said before, the Texas 1800, I thought would actually perform better than the others, but I was quite surprised to find out it didn't. In actual fact, it's probably a second or a third. The quarter wave whip did very well, considering that the RF normally comes off of a quarter wave at a higher angle, so you expect to see a lower signal at ground level. But no, it works extremely well. And I think the winner today was the Mega Silver, the Stereo. I think that actually, if you look very closely, it gave a very solid S9 signal, and it works very well. And the construction of it as well is pretty solid. It's a big antenna. So there you go. I'll let you make your own mind up, because you can see the results for yourself, and I'll leave some screenshots in a minute. So thank you very much indeed again for watching. Please subscribe if you like this type of thing I'm doing. Please share it. The more subscribers I get, the better. So until the next time, stay safe. 73s. This has been Enthusiastic Steve, trying to be enthusiastic during the lockdown. We're still waiting for a haircut. So all the very best. Take care, and look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thank you very much. 73s.